Hello and welcome. I'm Keegan Hirst and this is the Hirst Locker, the podcast for men who want to build an incredible body, a rock-solid mindset and unstoppable confidence. It's for men who want to live life on their terms and live it to their full potential. I've helped hundreds of men transform their lives, giving them the knowledge, the tools and the self-belief to help them smash through the glass ceiling that stop them from achieving their dreams. And I want to do the same for you. Now we're going to focus on physical, mental and emotional health, things that affect us as gay men so that we can live life on our terms, build the body that we want and feel confident living that life. I'm going to help you cut through the noise and confusion to give you the confidence and clarity to take action and build the best version of yourself, to give you complete control of your body, your mindset, your habits and ultimately your life. So let's get to it. Hello and welcome to episode 1 of season 2 of the Hirst Locker. I am back after a little bit of a longer absence than I'd hoped for, but made it back nonetheless. If you are watching this on YouTube, you'll see that I've got a new setup. I'm in a new house, I'm in a new office. All the gear, no idea. But hopefully I'll be able to carry on where we left off from season 1, talking about your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, and getting you to where you want to be. And I mean, what a couple of years we've all had, right? COVID. I mean, if you're in the UK, COVID doesn't exist anymore. Apparently, we've just to forget about it and get on with everything, which is fine in theory. It's just the impact that has, you know, when you cough and it's worse than doing a fart. People run away. But here we are, and it's April. It's almost Easter. Summer is just around the corner. If you are in the UK, we had a little taste of it the other week, and we had a few days, maybe that was summer, we had a few days of nice weather, and it just made everybody's mood improve. Everybody feels better. Everybody has more energy, more time, more va-va-voom. To get up and go. And what I want to talk about now is, because you're going to be seeing so many of these advertised on social media, websites, magazines, everywhere, transformations and getting ready for summer. And I just want to talk about a couple of things that you need to do them, a couple of things that don't actually matter, and just how to make them successful and be sustainable. Because let me just say this from the off, anybody can get themselves in shape in 12 weeks. Anybody can diet for 12 weeks. Anybody can train hard for 12 weeks. Anybody can do it with the right motivation, whether that's being whacked on the ass with a stick or whether it's someone dangling some cash in front of them. Whatever the motivation, anybody can do it for 12 weeks. But so many people do these 12-week programs, 90-day programs, 3, whatever it is, 6, sometimes a 6 months, sometimes 30 days. Just as an aside, nobody, I don't care who you are, is going to get you a good result in less than 90 days. Absolutely nobody. It's just not enough time. So just bear that in mind. But, you know, you're going to see, what I see is I see a lot of people do these programs and then they just go back. They rebound, and there's this ridiculous stat that 95% of people who diet put all the weight back on. Now the issue with that is in the phrasing of what I've just said. People who diet, people who just change their behaviors momentarily, and then they go back to their old behaviors. All right, it's like saying 2 and 2 equals 4, but when I add 2 and 3, I get 5. And then when I go back to adding 2 and 2, I'm not getting 5. Obviously, you're going to go back to what you originally, if you do what you've always done, you get what you've always got. So that is a reason why I think talking about these transformations, talking about these programs, which I do not think are inherently bad. We are currently running in PTIQ with my clients, we're running a bit of what we've called the Summer Body Challenge. And it's a 12-week, more intense period. Something that, for me as a coach, we should all strive to be is never on it or off it, all right? Something I talk to the guys about is sometimes we can dial things down when life gets in the way, and life does get in the way, whether it's work, whether it's relationship, whether it's moving house, or, kids, whatever it is, we've got to be practical, but we never want to be fully off it. So many people say, oh, I'm back on it this week. We don't ever want to fall off so that we need to get back on. Sometimes we're going to dial things down and sometimes we're going to dial things right up. All right. And that's what we're doing in this Summer Body Challenge. And that's what you're obviously going to do when you do these transformation challenges. But the reason why I think they're going to be so prevalent right now is because we're all out of COVID. The world is opening back up. I know people, even myself, we're talking about, when the world opens back up, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And the fact is that it's not been like, the world's back to normal. I am going to behave exactly how I did before. People have got into bad habits. People have got into a bit of a rut. People's reasons for doing things have changed. We've had a lot of time to reflect, a lot of time spent with ourselves, a lot of time rethinking about what's actually important to us. And that has manifested itself as people changing their behaviors. I'm not as bothered about going to the gym anymore. I'm not as bothered about looking great. And yet the implication of that and the impact on their lives is their health, their energy, their productivity, their focus, their confidence, their sex drive, whatever it might be has decreased, because that is a direct biological result of looking after yourself, going to the gym. But it might feel for a lot of people at the minute like the juice isn't worth the squeeze. And I think just off the back of that, what I want to talk about is I see this narrative that's been perpetuated everywhere. And it's no more obvious to me than when I get somebody who wants to join the program. We always jump on a call and we have a chat, and I'll ask them quite a lot of questions. But one of the questions I ask is, what would you love to achieve? What's the dream result? Where do you want to get to? If you could just click your fingers and get to where you want to be, what would that look like? How would that feel? And I would say 90% of people start their sentence about how they want to look, how they want to feel with this phrase: I know it might sound shallow, but. And then what they'll talk about is, I want to lose weight, I want to feel sexier, some people want abs, some people want a bigger chest, some people, whatever it might be, I want to feel good in my clothes, I want to be able to take my top off on the beach, whatever it might be. But they always precurse it with, I know it might sound shallow, but. And I just want to say, I do not know where this has come from. And I think it's really insidious, and I think it's really dangerous to lump in looking a certain way with being shallow. Looking good, whatever that is, that's different things to different people. I am not here to exacerbate beauty standards, especially, you don't need a six pack to look great. You don't need massive muscles to look great. I'm absolutely not saying that. It's something I talk about is building an incredible body, whatever that looks like to you. All right. And that is different to everybody. But wanting to look and feel good is not shallow in and of itself. What is shallow is when you judge somebody as a human being, their value purely by what they look like. That is shallow. Look, for me, looking good, looking healthy, feeling confident is the antithesis of shallow. It's wanting to be your best so that you can help other people, so that you can be more energized and help your friends, your family. You can be more productive and do more at work. You have the energy to invest in yourself, the time, the energy, the effort to build new skills, new habits, and develop yourself and grow. And your physique, your health, your body is the vehicle for you to be able to do everything. If you don't look after the car, you ain't going to get to where you want to get to. It's as simple as that. And your body is that. So we need to look after it for that reason. That's not shallow. We want to look and feel confident because that means that our impact on other human beings and the things that we do is better. That is not shallow. If you look a certain way and looking that way makes you feel a certain way, whether that's right or wrong, if you want to change that and look and feel better, that is not shallow. Self-improvement is not, has never been, and will never be a bad thing. And self-improvement comes in many, many, many shapes and forms, whether that's learning a new skill, whether that's, advancing yourself in a job, whether it's listening to, reading more books, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's training, whether it's building your physique, whatever it is, self-improvement is not and never should be a bad thing. And I'm all for, body positivity and being comfortable with who you are and accepting who you are, where you are now. That's gratitude. We all need an amount of gratitude to be, I'm here, I'm alive, I am healthy, I'm okay. But there's nothing wrong with wanting more. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be better. Obviously, it becomes a problem when it becomes the be all and end all and you can't even acknowledge the things that you've got and have that sense of gratitude. We always want to be aiming for, 50% gratitude, 50% wanting more. That keeps us growing. If you have too much gratitude and too much acceptance of what you've got and where you are, you become complacent and you stagnate and you start to get pissed off. And then if you have too much drive to keep continuing, then you don't ever feel content. You don't ever feel happy because you don't take time to appreciate what you've already got. And so it's a fine line, and that's going to swing sometimes. Sometimes people get a little bit complacent, they give themselves a kick up the ass, or something happens that gives them a kick up the ass and they go back to, but we always want to be hovering around that midpoint. But it seems to me that a lot of people who are in that, too much gratitude, that complacent mindset, when somebody decides that they want to do better, whether that's do a transformation program, join a coaching program, do a night course, go for a promotion, earn more money, whatever it is, they want to do more, be more. Then the people who are complacent, you're shallow. You shouldn't want that. You shouldn't want to be better. You shouldn't want to strive for more. That is poisonous. That's toxic. All right, for a person, for a group, for a family, for a friendship circle, and certainly for a society. That if you aim high, you are a bad person. Mediocrity is the enemy. Complacency is the enemy, not self-improvement. And look for that, and always remember that someone who's ahead of you, people never punch down. People will only get criticized by people who are not doing as well as you are, okay? And remember that when you do start improving your mindset, your body, whatever it might be, you're getting a better job, having a better relationship, putting boundaries up, whatever it might be, when you start doing that and people who are not doing it notice, you shining more of a light shines a light on their lack of, not you doing more. But because there's more of them, there are more voices, it amplifies it. So I think that's really important to precurse this with, because looking and wanting to look and feel better is not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing. And whatever the reason for that is, if you want to look and feel better because you want to go out and shag loads of people, good for you. Go fill your boots. If you want to look and feel better because you want to be more energized and get more out of your job, good for you. Go for it. If you want to be more, look and feel better because you don't feel confident going out and dating and meeting somebody, then good for you. If you want to go out and build your physique and look and feel better and be more energized and be more productive so that you can go get a better job, earn more money and provide for your family and set an example of your standards, then good for you, right? None of those reasons are bad, okay? So now that I've had a bit of a rant, I want to talk to you about some of the things that you need for a transformation, and when I'm talking about transformation, there's two different ways to look at this, and this is something I talk about with my guys, is we have what I call transactional changes and we have transformational changes. Transactional changes are, losing a little bit weight, feeling a bit better, clothes feeling a bit, nice, having a little bit more energy. It's the things that we do that kind of anybody can do really when they, change their habits, change their standards, change their priorities. That's a big thing. You change your priorities, you'll change your result. They're what I call transactional, and they can come and go. We can get those and then we can rebound. They're what a lot of people just aim for, and it's not enough. If you want a sustainable change, if you want to look good year round, and that doesn't mean that you have to be shredded to death year round. That's not that. It's we want transformational changes, which is, yes, physical, but also mental and emotional. It's about how you see yourself. It's about your identity. Going from a person who I'm on a diet to I'm a person who cares about the food that I eat because I know the impact it has on my body. They are two very, very different perspectives that will yield to very different results with very different longevities. Can I say longevity there? I think I can. So timelines, you know what I mean, length of time. So it's important to bear that in mind. If you just want a transactional change, which is great, it's good to have a deadline. I want to be ready for a wedding. I'm going on a holiday. I want to lose a bit of weight, feel better. That's great. Go for it. Use the transactional changes as the springboard, the carrot to get you going. And then once you get into the rhythm and you start to build momentum, this is something that I'm going to talk about in a little bit, building that positive momentum. Once you start getting the wins, they come thick and fast, okay? And then you want to keep that roll on, keep that momentum going. That is how you overcome motivation, because everybody's going to lack motivation. You might be motivated as fuck when you start your transformation, your 12-week challenge. I can tell you by week 8, you're going to be towing a bit. And that's why there are a couple of things that you need. If you are really serious about changing your body, your life, your habits, whatever it is, there's a couple of things that you need, and I want to talk about those. Number one thing that you need is a really strong reason why, all right? Why are you doing what you're doing? I just want to lose a few pounds so I can fit in this t-shirt is not a fucking strong reason why. And the reason that you need a reason is because when it's been a long day at work, you're stressed, everything's gone wrong, you can't be arsed cooking healthy food, and you can just order a pizza. That why of I just want to fit better into my t-shirt ain't gonna butter no parsnips when it comes to I'm really fucking hungry and pissed off and I want this pizza. Which one is stronger? I'm telling you right now, it's the pizza every day of the week. If you have a really strong why, just picking one off the top of my head that I've heard numerous times, I want to like myself more so that I can put myself out there dating so that I'm not fucking lonely. That is a really strong why. That is a really strong reason to do what you're doing. You know what? Having this pizza is actually going to set me back and mean that I'm lonely for longer. Boom. Which is stronger there? All right. So having that reason for why is really important, and you can have these short-term ones. I want to fit into my suit for my brother's wedding isn't really a strong why. I want to fit into my brother's suit because I want to be an example that our family looks after ourselves, and I want to make my brother and my family and all the guests really proud. That's a strong why. So you don't have to be looking to change the world, but you do need a strong why. And the flip side of that, the second thing that you need is a consequence. And I want you to think about all the things that you do regularly. There are consequences for you not doing them. If I don't go to work, I won't get paid. I I'll lose my job. I'll end up on the street. All right. I know that's quite an extreme case there, but for me, an example. If I don't get up early-ish on a morning, I know that my dog will take a shit in the kitchen, and I don't want to be cleaning shit up. So that is enough of a consequence to get me moving. So when I want to snooze and stay in bed, that consequence, because the reason why is I should want to get up and let my dog out. But do you know what? Sometimes the reason why isn't enough. But when you pair it up with a consequence, it's really fucking powerful. Okay? So the reason why I get up on a morning is because I love my dog and I don't want him to be uncomfortable. But also the consequence that if I don't, I'm going to have to clean shit up is, it's a double-edged sword. And that's what we want when it comes to your health. I realize I've just talked about dog shit and your health and fitness goals. But, the reason why, if we take that example of the brother for the wedding, I want to look good. I want to make everybody proud. And the consequence of that is I'm going to feel ashamed of myself. I'm going to feel like I've let everybody down. I'm going to pay all this money to get for this new suit and not even be able to fit in it and not feel comfortable. You've got a strong why, you've got a strong consequence, and when you pair them together, it's really, really, really powerful. Next few things that you need. Something that we have in PTIQ within the coaching program, but 5 things you're going to need if you want a successful transformation, whether that's a short-term one or a long-term one. You need a plan. You need coaching, you need support, you need accountability, and you need community. Okay? So plan. You need to know what you're doing. Think about it like this. If I was to tell you to, wherever you are, I want you to come and meet me in Leeds. It's a city in West Yorkshire, near where I live. I want you to come and meet me. I'm not going to tell you a time. I'm not going to tell you how to get there. I'm not going to tell you, how difficult the journey is going to be. I'm not going to tell you anything. How likely are you to get in that car? Not very. If I say, come and meet me at this place at this time, you're going to need to set off from yours at this time, take this road. You're going to experience this, and this at these times. You're going to be kind of like, all right, I know what's coming down the track. I'm prepared to do that now, and I know what I'm going to get out of it. That is the importance of having a plan. You need to know exactly what you're doing, okay? Coaching, it needs to be relevant to you where you're at. There's so many people buy these fucking dog shit cookie cutter programs from influencers on Instagram and things like that have not been written by them, not been designed by them. They don't use them themselves. And sometimes they're not relevant. I see, complete beginners going to a gym and start trying to do barbell squats and deadlifts, and they are quite complex, to do them accurately, to do them technically correct and get the most out of it. They are complex things that you build up to them, and that's why having a tailored coaching program is really important, right? It's really, really important. The coaching that you get needs to be set to where you're at. Something I always say is, I build my program around my clients. I don't expect my clients to fit into my program, okay? And that's why it's tailored to them. And you need that for a transformation. Support, accountability. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be times where you tow your ass off. You don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to get your steps in. You don't want to do that cardio. You do just want to order a pizza and inhale a tub of ice cream. Who doesn't want to do that? Who doesn't feel like that? But do you know what? Just having that support where you can reach out to someone and go, I'm feeling a certain way, and you lose track of your why, your consequence, and they can remind you, they can help you, they can get you back on track, they can give you a bit of perspective, then that's going to be invaluable. And the flip side of that is the accountability. I hear this word getting bandied around a lot, accountability. There's lots of ways you can get. We want to have self-accountability where you are accountable to yourself, okay? Self-confidence comes from self-accountability. Self-confidence is a really simple thing. It is the reputation that you have with yourself. If you say that you do something and then you do it, that's good, right? That builds you a reputation. If someone at work says they're going to help you out and they do it, you go, oh, they're a nice person. That's good. That's a tick against their name. So every time you do that, you build up your confidence, you build up your relationship with yourself, your reputation with yourself, but you also proving to yourself that when I do something and I say I'm going to do it by a certain time, that's self-accountability. Sometimes we don't have that to start with. That's something that we want to build up to and that we want to learn. And so having an external person, whether that's a coach, whether that's a friend, whether that's a partner, it doesn't have to be someone that you pay, but accountability, it could be, a group, a community, a buddy, whatever it is. We have lots of different types of it, whether it's a coach, whether it's an accountability group, whether it's a Facebook group, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Having that accountability is important. And just for, full transparency, I have no bones in saying I have 3 coaches. I used to be a professional athlete. I am a coach. People might look at me and go, well, you should be able to do that yourself. Yeah, I should. But do you know what? Sometimes I get pissed off and I don't want to do it. So having that accountability, somebody to answer to, what it is, it's just another fail safe. Like your why, like your consequence, like your plan. They're all what I call anti-fail measures. We want to make sure that we can fail. Because if you don't fail, you're going to succeed at some point, right? And after that, I touched on it there, being part of a community. People who are similar to you. And when I talk about similar, I'm talking similar challenges, similar aspirations, similar goals, similar lifestyle. And that doesn't have to be defined by gender, by sexuality, by job. But you want someone who you can relate to and they can relate to you. because then you can share each other's wins. You can be inspired by each other. If they can do it, I can do it. It's really fucking empowering to be part of a community. So having things like that in place, okay? And then when it comes to the actual transformation itself, like the physical checklist of things that you need this, you can either call them systems or you can call them standards. Again, things that they're like rules that allow you not to fail, okay? So you need a system for your food, you need a system for your training, you need a system for your water intake, for your steps, for your cardio, for your sleep, okay? So food quality, food timing, food, when you eat, how you eat, what you eat. So just just to give you some examples of things that I've used in the past or I've used with clients. So when it comes to food, you might say, if you're trying to, and just to get super clear on this, if you are doing a transformation, 9 out of 10 people want to see more definition. They want to see the musculature that they've got, because everybody's got muscles. You won't be able to move if you didn't. If you want to see them, you need to reduce your body fat percentage. Okay, and I'm going to get onto that in a little minute, what matters and what doesn't. But for most people, a transformation, you're going to be losing body fat so that we can see what's underneath. Everybody's got abs, everybody's got muscles, everybody's got pecs, everybody's got delts and shoulders, but you usually can't see it because your body fat percentage is too high. It's simple as that. So usually when it comes to the food aspect, we want to be in a calorie deficit, right? Unless we are one of those people who's really trying to put some size on. But usually that won't be the final stage of a transformation. Anyway, I'm going off piste here. So we want to have systems, standards, rules, however you want to talk about it in place. So food, it might be, I'm not going to eat before 12 o'clock, all right? Some people call that intermittent fasting. I call it skipping breakfast, all right? The reason that people, I'm going to go off on a tangent here on intermittent fasting. Think about this, right? If you can eat for 24 hours, okay, so let's say that you sleep for 8. I'm being generous, but let's say that you sleep for 8 hours. So you've got maths, 16 hours where you're awake. If you say you can eat for 16 hours, whatever you want, and then you say to somebody else, you can eat for 8 hours, whatever you want, who do you think is going to consume more calories? 16 hours. In the vast majority of cases, right? But then you say to someone, well, don't eat, only eat between 12 o'clock and 8 p.m., right? That's what a lot of people do. And then people go, oh, well, I'm fucking hungry and it's 9 o'clock and I'm just going to eat because I've been told to skip breakfast. I've been told to do this fasting window. But then what about if I say to you, it's called intermittent fasting. You can only eat between 12 and 8. And if you only eat between 12 and 8, it's going to mean that your growth hormone increases and it's got anti-aging things and it's going to help your digestion. It's like this wonder thing that's going to make you Superman. Then people are going to go, oh, when they get hungry at 9 o'clock, they're going to say, oh yeah, well, I won't do that because it'll spoil my intermittent fasting. It's just propaganda. Sorry, that is what a lot of the fitness industry is. It is propaganda. But it is a very effective tool for minimizing your calorie intake. But getting someone to buy into it, that's the trick. And that's where the propaganda comes in. So I realize I've gone off on one there, but that might be a rule or standard that you have around food. Don't eat before 12, don't eat after 8. Make sure that everything that you eat has protein in it. You know, things like that. Really simple stuff. Your training, you might say, I'm going to train in the gym 3 times a week and I'm going to do 2 cardio sessions a week. As a minimum, I got to get those in. So if you fuck it off and you don't do anything and it gets to Saturday, guess what? You got to get 3 training sessions and 2 cardio sessions in. Having those standards, those rules, as a minimum, really important. Water, you might say, I'm going to make sure that I've drunk 3 liters of water by 2 p.m. Steps, I'm going to get X amount of steps in before X amount of time. Just having these little things, they become, like I said before, anti-fail. Making sure that I'm in bed at X time, making sure that my phone is on charge in another room and I'm in bed, lights off by whatever time. Little things like that, standards, rules, systems. They are what you need to get you there. So you need a strong reason why. You need a consequence. You need a plan. You need coaching. You need support, accountability, community. You need systems and standards or rules, whatever you want to call them. You need a couple of other things. You need data or feedback. You can call it whatever you want, right? What gets measured gets managed. So you need to know, where was your start point? That might be done through photos. It might be done through measurements. It might be done through your weight. Okay, people use weight as the be all and end all. Weight is not the be all and end all, but it is a handy metric, to help with the big picture. Okay, so photos, measurements, waist, what you've been lifting in the gym. Are you getting stronger? Are you getting faster? Are you getting fitter? Can you do more? Are you stronger for longer? That kind of data gives you a picture that you are improving. When you see that you are improving, as I spoke about earlier, you start to build that positive momentum. You start to build that reputation that you had with yourself, or that you have with yourself, and it starts to get better and better and better. And when your reputation gets better, or you have a good reputation, or someone has a good reputation, what do? You use them more. You rely on them more because you know they're going to deliver. And how good would that be for that to be you? Yeah. So having that feedback, whether that's a check-in with, it could be with a coach, it might be with a group, it might be with a friend, whatever it is, data is, the more data that you have, the more complete picture that you see. And this is where people go wrong, when they only do the weight, and they do, even if you were to only do your weight and you weighed yourself once a week, there's so many things that can fluctuate in your weight. That can be really demoralizing. You think, oh God, I've been on plan all week. I've not strayed from it. But then you had a load of salt the night before. You had something really salty, and that was going to make you hold on to more water. You weigh more, and then you go, oh, that's not working. Fuck off. But if you'd have done your photos, if you'd done your waist measurement, if you'd have looked at your weight log, you saw that you're getting stronger. You saw that your waist has actually gone down. You saw that you look better in your photos. Your weight isn't gonna matter as much. It's not the be all and end all. So having that data, having that feedback is really important. And then the last thing that you need when it comes to a transformation is an exit strategy. As I said right at the beginning of this podcast, when people do these, they do the 12-week block, 16-week block, whatever it might be, and then they just go back to their old habits. So often you'll diet it down. You want to just kind of reverse diet out of that because you want to stay as lean as you are, but you want to be able to eat more calories. Nobody wants to be on 1,500 calories for the rest of their life, right? So if you're gradually adding calories back in, 100 a week, whatever it might be. So, it takes longer, but once you get there, you're going to have more freedom. Having that training, you can't just stop training. You still need to stay active. You might be able to change the modality of your training, but you want to make sure that you are still being active. You want to make sure that you're still pushing on. So it's really important that you have an exit strategy, that you have an exit timeline. And again, when it comes to your exit stuff, you need a plan. You need to know that you're doing the right things. You need support to stay on track, because it's really easy to just go, well, I've done it now, I'm going to fuck it off. But if you do that, you will rebound back. It's like that elastic band's been pulled really tight. And then if you just go, fuck it, it just twangs back. But if you were to gradually bring that elastic band back in, so that then there's slack in it, and then you let go, guess what? No twang. No twang means no pain. And that's what we want, right? We want a successful, sustainable transformation. So just to recap, when it comes to transformations, when it comes to wanting to improve yourself, wanting to look and feel better is not shallow. Self-improvement is not a bad thing. And anybody who tells you it is hasn't been doing any. And you want to turn that around and tell them to pull the fucking finger out their ass. All right? When you embark on a transformation, there are a few things that you need. You need a strong why. You need a strong consequence. What's going to happen if you don't do it? You need a plan. You need support. You need accountability. You need relevant coaching. And you need a community. You need a system in and around, or standards or rules, however you want to put it, around food, around training, around water, around sleep, around steps, all the fundamentals that are going to get you to where you need to be. You need data or feedback, some kind of check-in, and lastly, you need an exit strategy out of your transformation so that you're not just pulling an elastic band really tight, look great, then let go and it all goes to shit. Yeah, that's not what we want. We want to gradually reduce that friction, that tension, so that you can keep your results, stay where you are, and have all the added benefits of it, and not have that impact of yo-yo dieting. The impact of yo-yo dieting, where you lose loads of weight, you feel really good, and then it goes back, and you see your results slipping through your fingers, and you go, what's wrong with me? Why can't I keep sustaining it? Why am I doing this again, and I'm losing the same weight over and over again? That's demoralizing, demotivating, and super fucking frustrating. And I've been there, and I've helped loads of guys out of that. I know the impact that has on your self-esteem, on your confidence, on the belief that you can actually change and make it last. Okay? And you can do it. You just need to have the strategy. And I know it sounds like there's quite a lot there, and it's because there is. Do you know what? It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody'd do it, right? Everybody would be ripped to death. Everybody would be in fantastic shape. But some people are not willing to put the effort in. It takes effort. It takes energy, and it takes you willing to put yourself first and invest the time and energy and effort in yourself, and money where it's relevant. Okay? So I hope that has been really insightful and helps with your decisions around transformations, getting ready for summer so that you can enjoy it, we can get out of COVID, and we can do what we need to do. So thank you for listening. It's great to be back on the Hirst Locker, and I will see you next episode.